Right now, Tri-Brigades are quote unquote bad, but do I think they're bad? No, I think they're actually really good. They have a ton of potential, but the biggest problem is they just don't have any good synergies right now. And so to elaborate on that, and especially what's good about them and the bad, I want to discuss Tri-Brigades today and why Tri-Brigade is ... bad? Yu-Gi-Oh. Anyways, before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content and want to see more of it. And with that, let's begin. So first off, let's discuss what actually the Tri-Brigades are. They are essentially a group of Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast typed monsters that essentially help these three typings immensely in the form of being a highly consistent engine that, get this, allows you to miracle fusion summon those three typings link monsters. So to give context, if you were playing a deck like Ancient Warrior, you could then use the Tri-Brigades in order to cheat out quote unquote your extra deck Ancient Warrior link monster. And this is really good for consistency purposes. You also get disruption with specifically that link monster or whatever other utility the link monster can provide for you, but the point being made is that's not something you should sleep on as an effect. Miracle fusion summoning is always amazing. I don't think I need to elaborate much further on that, but then we need to discuss what else is good about them. Well, they're highly consistent. You have 3 copies of Tanky to search out 3 copies of Fractar that get you 3 copies of Nerval. Then when Nerval is sent to the graveyard, it can search another Tri-Brigade in the form of Cuirass, and then Cuirass can discard another Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast in order to special summon itself and get that Miracle Fusion effect. So this doesn't even conflict with your normal summon. So they are indeed highly consistent at what they do. But I do want to point out that there are massive problems with this concept. While Miracle Fusion summoning is good, you're only able to get as much value as your extra deck can provide. And while there is a lot of value to be had, we need to make it so that one link monster is going to get us everything we need to set up, or the strategy we're combining Tri-Brigade with is able to keep up and have that one link monster be insanely impactful. And there are ways to do that, but then another problem becomes this cannot be a pure strategy. You just don't have enough cards in the deck in order to make it a pure strategy. But regardless of it not being a pure strategy, as an engine, it's amazing depending on the deck. And so getting into some of the potential targets you can summon. Obviously, I mentioned the Ancient Warrior link monster, which is essentially a Hieratic Seal. Even though it doesn't have the when tributed effect, it's still really good to be able to bounce whatever your opponent's summoning. Then we have the Simorgh link monster, which gets you to summon any Winged Beast monster from your main deck at the end phase. And that's something you cannot sleep on when cards like the Barrier Statue of Wind is in the game, and we have other cards that provide negations like Mist Valley Apex Avian. So yes, there's a lot of potential with this archetype, but we also need to go over the flaws and the reason why this isn't seeing as much play right now. But before we do that, I want to real quick shout out Imperium Duelist. They make some of the highest quality playmats in the market, and if you want to purchase an Imperium Duelist playmat like the one on screen, make sure to use code BladeYGO10 at checkout to not only help me, but help you by getting a discount. With that, let's continue the video. So first, let's discuss Cuirass. Cuirass requires a discard, and this is one of the 2 major problems with this strategy. It may not seem like the biggest deal. Oh, if I'm playing Zodiac, I'll just discard another Zoo, summon Cuirass, get its effect, and then oh wait, your opponent has a response. They chain Psyframe Gear Gamma, and you've essentially went -1 in that trade because they're summoning a Gamma from their hand and a Driver assumably from the deck, and then you're losing out on the card you pitched and the Cuirass on field. And sure, you may still have a Dryden, but you're probably going to lose at this point if you can't recover enough resources going forward. So while people say, oh, Zoo is a great fit with Tri-Brigade, because Cuirass requires that discard, it's not as great of a synergy as you may think. And this goes to show truthful with the rest of the Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast archetypes. Most of them don't really have these great grave synergies that Cuirass can abuse by discarding. The only really good example I could give is Simorgh. Not that Samorg is that good, but the point being that Samorg all have grave effects, and for Karas to be able to discard an entire archetype full of grave effects is really important to know. And that's why a deck like Salamangreat got away with playing Flame Buffalo in their deck. Flame Buffalo reads you can, when sent from the field to the graveyard, discard 1 Cyberse and draw 2. And that's so good in Salamangreat because all of their monsters have grave effects. If you were to discard a Spinny, a Foxy, a Jack, a Falco, any of these cards, you're getting some extra value in it, and so you're not going neg in order to, or going even in this trade. Whereas Karas, you have to go neg in order to summon the Karas, and then Karas is very prone to hand traps like Veiler, Imperm, and Gamma. Again, this isn't to say like they're always gonna have it. They may not have a hand trap and then Karas resolves, but the point being made, it's very fragile in this case to be able to discard one and then get hand trapped, whereas even a card like Flame Buffalo was very resilient to hand traps because you could chain block it with Bale Links, whereas Karas doesn't have that luxury. So it's really important to note that Karas needs a really good archetype with grave effects in order to make this card that much better. And I think it's interesting to point out that while I did mention earlier Tri-Brigade has the problem that it can't be a pure theme, that's not entirely true as of post Blazing Vortex, the next core set, when we get Tri-Brigade Kit. This is another new Tri-Brigade coming out that essentially can Foolish Burial any Tri-Brigade from your deck, and just having another name in general is a big deal. But also having that when sent to grave effect makes it that much better, especially because you can pitch it off Karas. And then the kit can either fuel your Tri-Brigade monsters or get you follow-ups or whatever else the case may be. But then the other biggest problem that I will mention is they don't do enough comparatively to the rest of the metagame as of right now. Sure, I can summon the Samorg Link and get the Barrier Statue and have a Dryden on field, and that's all really cool, and I committed 3 cards to that play. Or I could just normal summon Black Metal and get infinite negates, whatever the heck Dragon Link wants to set up, whether that also includes the Vylon Q package or not. Or as Steven put it, 2 negates with a extra deck lock? Pen best deck, ja. So the point I'm making is you're committing a lot of resources inherently to a Karas play, and that's kind of the main way you start getting the effects. And then by doing so, it's not as beneficial. I mean, to be fair to Tri-Brigade, they do have a Link 2 that can special summon a level 4 or lower Beast Warrior, Beast, or Winged Beast monster from your hand. So that essentially makes a Tri-Brigade normal summon act as a way to get another monster out of your hand. But even then, that's still more fragile to hand traps. It's better than nothing, to be fair, but my point being made is that Karas, while not conflicting with your normal summons, has problems inherently of requiring a discard. Let's say, for example, Karas was able to just special summon itself if you control a Beast, Winged Beast, or Beast Warrior. That would be insane, because you're not going neg to do so. That's the point I'm making. Even if you want to compare the fact, oh, Karas doesn't require your normal summon, I'll activate Chaos Space, pitch one, and let's see which one gets us more value. Tri-Brigade is not overall bad. I wouldn't say the archetype is bad. I don't think the engine is bad. I think it's definitely an interesting concept, and I think it's pretty cool for a ton of different strategies. But as of right now, I don't think they'll be competitively viable just because of the 2 reasons that I mentioned. And obviously, if we get a future archetype that makes Tri-Brigade better, then by all means, that's going to be amazing. But my point still stands on my opinion on Tri-Brigade. Let me know down below what you think about Tri-Brigade and what you want to see in the future for this archetype. Thank you all so much, and with that, I hope to see you soon.